going on, everybody? It is your boy Amon's Toxic Emily the back at it with another video, and today we are going to be doing a surprise Toxic tier list ranking. Oh yeah. And if you guys are wondering why I'm doing the surprise tier list ranking today, it is because today is Friday the 13th. And I thought to myself, since today is Jason's day, why not rank all the Friday the 13th movies from the worst to the best on the tier list? And I was also thinking to myself, since, Freddy and Jason have a crossover, I was thinking, why not include the Nightmare on Elm Street movies too? But before we get to actual beginning of the video itself, guys, if you missed the previous Toxic tier list rankings I've done in the past, they're on a playlist on my YouTube channel if you would like to check those out. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 400 subscribers, just 33 away now. Really help out you, boy, if you did subscribe. That also goes for people that have been watching my channel for a while and haven't subscribed yet. Don't forget to like the video if you do like my Toxic tier list rankings. It'll help with the YouTube algorithm and recommend the video more. Don't forget to ring the bell for all notifications on notification upload, because we do multiple uploads here on the channel every single day. Also, do share the video because I'll set me out. I can have some more people join the Toxic fan. And do feel free to comment your list down below. Alright. I will get one thing out of the way. I have not watched every single movie on this list. Well, I've watched most of them, except one. And the only one I haven't seen is the Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 reboot. I've seen it on demand a couple times, but it's gone missing, and I couldn't find it. Sorry, y'all. It's the only one on here. I was trying to watch all the other ones first so I can get a clear idea of what all the Nightmare on Elm Street fans would think about this movie, and it ended up disappearing. I'm sorry, guys. I'll eventually review it on my monthly check, okay? But otherwise, I have very passionate opinions about the Child's Play franchise, and now I would say the Friday the 13th franchise and Nightmare on Elm Street franchises, both respectively. So yeah, let's just kick this thing off, shall we? Alright, first up, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street. Nah, I'm just kidding. I mean, come on. It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time, so it immediately goes to the best of the best. It gave birth to us probably the most iconic horror movie icon besides Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. Just that whole entire glove, the whole entire hat, and the burnt face, and the red and green coat. That's the most probably top 5 most iconic horror movie icons out there. It gave birth to one of the best final girls in Nancy Thomas. I really like her character and what they do in here. The kills are quite good for its time. There's a bunch of really great special effects during this movie, especially during, I forgot what the girl's name was, but the one that they kill off first in the movie with the rotating room and stuff. I thought that was really cool. And once you watch the behind the scenes stuff on how they did it, it's absolutely incredible. This actually is Johnny Depp's first role in here. It was great to see him, and he's actually a pretty good character. And yeah, it's just a all-timer for sure. It's definitely up there. Then we have the first Friday the 13th. Oh, wait, I forgot to say all the categories, by the way. We have best of the best, which means best of the best. Like, they're top 10, 10 out of 10, whatever. Great means it's great, like, close to 10 out of 10. Toxic goodness means it's bad, but you like it. Okay means it's mixed bag if you like it or not. Bad means it's bad. Haven't seen is movies I haven't seen. And toxic trash is dumpster fire, the worst. Anyways, the first Friday the 13th. This is one of the rare occasions where if you talk to people about a horror movie franchise, most people wouldn't consider this one as their favorite. I think that, and this does have Kevin Bacon in it, ironically. So, the first time I watched it, and you know what? I think it's okay. It's because it did clarify, like, multiple times, like, after the movie has been released, that this is like a Halloween ripoff. It is, but it's in a campground. this is the only Friday the 13th movie where Jason isn't the killer, which is interesting, and it's his mom. It's a whodunit, so you're trying to find out who the killer is or whatever, and the reveal is just so. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but that's pretty much all the things. And it's not really a memorable horror movie at all, except for this stars Kevin Bacon in it. And there is some pretty decent kills in here, especially Kevin Bacon's death. But otherwise, it's an okay movie for me. Then we got Friday the 13th Part 2. Actually, a much better sequel, and this is the first movie with Jason as the killer. I'm gonna put it in Toxic Goodness. It's basically a repeat of the first film, but they just have Jason as the killer instead. The final girl in here, I think, is pretty interesting, and is definitely one of the smartest out of the final girls, and definitely one of the best Friday the 13th final girls. How she basically wears his mom's sweater and tries to basically fake Jason out. I really like that. What other stuff in here? All the deaths are pretty decent, especially, wait, is that 2 or 3? I forgot which movie it was, but the one where, the dude in the wheelchair gets, this is the one where the dude in the wheelchair gets, knifed in the face, and then he falls back down a couple of stairs, which is a pretty cool death. And yeah, it's not a amazing movie, but it's a solid movie, and it's definitely rewatchable. Then we got Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. This is not as great as the original is, but I think it's still a decent follow-up. It's a hate or love type of movie, because there's been a bunch of, like, context. Not context, but there's been a bunch of, context about how this was kind of like for the LGBTQ community, sort of, after it came out. I like the story of how, basically, it's, how Freddy's taken over a person. I think that's a very interesting and intriguing plot line, which definitely does it better than another movie in the other franchise, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I thought the main protagonist was a pretty good actor. Freddy has this is the most terrifying version of him besides the original, and the look is pretty creepy too. So yeah, it's just overall a really good, solid sequel that I don't think it's a love or hate movie. I think it's good. Alright, next up we have Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, of course. Friday the 13th Part 3, it's going into Toxic Goodness. Toxic Goodness, for the most part, most of the movies in there, I could see myself rewatching a whole lot. This one is the first Friday the 13th movie where Jason dons his iconic hockey mask. A bunch of the kills are pretty decent. The final girl's okay. It's not as great as the last one, but she's still pretty good. It's like, it's not the back. I would rather watch it than Friday the 13th Part 2, but it is, the characters aren't as memorable as Friday the 13th Part 2, I don't think. So, like, Friday the 13th Part 2 and Part 3 go back and forth, so, yeah. It is really funny when you see all the 3D effects where they, like, put stuff in front of the camera, and then, yeah, it's pretty funny. Then we have A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. And this might be controversial, but I'm going to put it in the great tier. I don't think it's best of the best. There's one flaw of this movie. I still think it's great, but I just wish there was more Freddy in this movie. It mostly focuses on the Dream Warriors and follows their character development, which it does a great job of. I will admit, it does a great job of that. I just wish we saw more Freddy. Also, Nancy, this further develops the character of Nancy Thomas even further than the first film, which I think they do a great job on. It develops the Dream Warriors quite well. and Nancy's sacrifice at the end was probably arguably a perfect send-off for this franchise, but they just kept on going, which we'll talk about the next movie soon. But yeah, it's great. It's definitely great. Then we have Friday the 13th, the final chapter. This is my second Friday the 13th movie. Second favorite Friday the 13th movie. I think the gore is great. I think Tom Savini did the gore right. I forgot. It has the best cast of characters in the whole entire Friday the 13th movie. It has the dad from Back to the Future. I forgot the actor's name was. Pardon me. There's a bunch of other memorable characters. There's the twins. You got Tommy Jarvis debuting in here, played by Corey Feldman. You really like his relationship with his sister. It's really nice and sweet. As I said, the kills were pretty cool, especially the one where Jason starts the movie where he saws the guy's neck and then he twists his head back around. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I think it's a perfect Friday the 13th movie, but not as perfect as my other one, which we'll eventually get to. Then we have A Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master. Dream Master. I always get confused by the names, don't mind me. Honestly, I don't like this one. This is the first Friday I was actually expecting to think it was okay. This is my least favorite one. Would I say it's my least favorite one? Yeah, it is. It's my least favorite one. It's just killing off all the Dream Warriors made no sense. It undoes Nancy's sacrifice from the previous film. Like, I don't know why they had to do that. It undoes the victory of the previous film. The main girl that played Alice, I think that's what her name was, from 3 doesn't reprise her role in here, and there's a different person that plays her. There's a new character that's the final girl for, like, the next 2 movies, which she's alright, I guess, but Dream Master, and also there is one kill, right, in here that I do like, right? No. And the kills are quite lame. I would say I'd say that personally. I don't like Dream Master. Then we got The Dream Child. I was actually expecting this one to be my least favorite, and it's not good, but it's definitely better than Dream Master, which most people would disagree with. I know that. I would put it. I don't know. I'll arrange that later. But I actually kinda enjoyed this one. I don't think it's a good movie. I loved. Wait. This is the kill with the. No. It's not the one with the kill I'm thinking of. But this one has some. What was I gonna say? There's some kills in here that you don't like the force feed scene. That's just gross. The comic book kill sounds cool on paper, but it was meh. It was meh. I'm trying to think of any other. I thought the kill where Freddy ends up sucking the life out of that person, that was pretty cool. In that classroom, what other things can I think about? Because I watched this recently and I forgot what it was. Oh, and also I do think it develops the character of the previous film a little bit more, and you root for her more. So, yeah. Alright. Then we got Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, which I think would be at the bottom of most people's lists for their least favorite Friday the 13th movie. I actually get quite a few cookie fun out of it. It's okay. It's definitely not good. I just thought the kills were pretty good. Even though it's a Jason copycat and that reveal is stupid, I still enjoy the blood and guts and stuff, and I think it's interesting how they follow Tommy Jarvis and basically follow how they ended off the last movie, where he's having PTSD from the original Friday the 13th attack, and he's all crazy and stuff. And then, none of the characters are really memorable. I just think it's fine. It's fine. I don't dislike it. I'd actually put that above the original Friday the 13th. I know people are gasping in their seats right now. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. This one and Dream Child, I was the most hesitant about watching. And this ended up living to the hype. I don't think it's toxic trash because I do think that earpiece kill, the hearing aid kill, is quite brutal and cool. But otherwise, it's just Freddy as a full-blown cartoon. After Dream Warriors, they had some humor in there with Freddy. But after that, the Freddy's humor gets a little bit repetitive and annoying, and you don't buy him as a funny killer or whatever. And this cranks it up to 100. All he does is laugh. Ah ha ha, ah ha ha. It's just, I would probably rather watch. I would probably watch this over Dream Mask. No, these two are neck and neck. Both of them are the worst, I think. So, yeah, that's why it goes there. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Most people's favorite Friday the 13th movie. I will put it in the great tier. This definitely has the best Tommy Jarvis out of the movies. The kills are decent, as usual. Probably from the Friday the 13th movies. What other stuff in here? I'm trying to think. Why it doesn't quite reach best of the best tier for me is because it is a little bit slow to building up to everything, but there's a bunch of memorable stuff in here. When Jason kills the police officer's back, kills the police officer and folds him in half, I thought that was a pretty nice kill. When he's taking down all those people in the forest that are, I forgot what game they were playing, but they were shooting paint and stuff. I thought that was pretty gnarly. What other stuff? And you do root for Tommy, unlike New Beginning. You do root for him in Final Chapter, though. So, yeah, I think it's good. But I think it's really solid. Then we got Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Bad. The first Friday the 13th movie in the bad category. It's basically just Jason versus Carrie in a Friday the 13th movie. None of the characters are interesting. The kills were mostly cut away because the MPAA said, oh, if you don't change these kills, we're going to make it more than rated R or whatever. And it would have been cooler if they left those kills in there, but they said, nope, these are too brutal. So basically, they cut away every single time. Characters, unlikable. The way Jason dies, blink, 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 is stupid. And yeah, it's the first bad Friday the 13th movie, but I would rather rewatch it than both of these Freddy movies, so it goes at the top of the bad tier, which isn't saying much. Then we got Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and this is a very unique movie. I think, Seed of Chucky tried to do this, but it ended up falling flat on its face. It goes to the top of the great tier for me. It is a very interesting idea. I believe this was one of Wes Craven's last movies before he passed away. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below. I think even though we don't get, I think we get plenty of Freddy, but we don't really get much kills. We only get like 2 or 3 people dying. The actors play themselves, which I think is really interesting how they're exploring Freddy as an entity in the real world, and they have to stop him. And I forgot the actress's name was that plays Nancy, but she does a great job playing herself. Robert Englund has a fun little cameo in here, and so does Wes Craven. Yeah, this is the one I just watched before doing this tier list ranking, and I think it's a very solid movie. So, yeah, it goes in the great tier. Then we got Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, or just takes a boat. Yeah, he takes Manhattan for the last 20 minutes. Toxic Trash. It's watchably awful. The only funny thing in this movie is when Jason's facing that boxer dude, and the boxer gets tired and goes, "Give me your best shot," and then Jason punches his head off the building. That's the only great part, the funny part, or good part of this movie. The rest of it is crap. It's just, oh yeah, in the title we said Jason Takes Manhattan. Nope, he's just gonna ride a boat for the hour runtime, and the last 20 minutes he's gonna take over Manhattan. And they give him they give Jason this weird gooey look or whatever, where he's so super drippy and all that, and I don't like that. And then at the end, when he dies and gets poured acid all over him, he ends up basically turning back into a kid. It's just like, what? So, yeah, it's bad. Now, Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Besides the great ending where Jason takes his mask and drags Jason's mask to hell, and Kane Hodder as Jason's pretty good. I forgot to mention that about the New Blood. It goes into the bad tier. I was almost going to put it into Toxic Trash, but the idea of Jason inhabiting different people and they pass him on like a disease or whatever, I think is interesting. But I think Freddy's Revenge did that a lot better with just one person. This one, and the special effects animation's pretty good too, and the main dude's likable, but it's just, I don't really enjoy this one, to be honest with you. We don't get much of Kane Hodder as Jason, which is unfortunate for most of the Friday the 13th fans. The kills, nothing to write home about, even though it's a Friday the 13th movie, which is shocking. And yeah, it's just a bad Friday the 13th movie, but it could be watchably bad. Who knows? I might rewatch that again next year. Jason X. So, I gotta think of where to put this. I have to think. Because it's, at least it's self-aware that it's awful. So, I'll put it at bad, because that's a compliment. Because Jason X is aware that it's bad. It's not great or good. You obviously know what you're getting into when Jason's going to space or whatever. Well, this does. I'll give this movie its credit. This does have probably the best kill in the whole entire Friday the 13th franchise, where he dunks that one girl's head in the ice or whatever, then her face is frozen, and then he smashes it back onto the counter. That's one of the best kills in the whole entire franchise, and maybe in horror history. I don't know, but yeah, the acting is hit or miss. Most of the acting is pretty bad, but that you can tell it's what type of movie it is, and yeah, it's a bad movie, but it's awfully watchably bad, so it goes there. Then we got Freddy vs. Jason, the movie where it crossed over these two gents, and the human characters aren't really that good, but it does live up to the title, because Freddy and Jason do fight in the last, the movie's an hour and 45 minutes, and they fight for, it seems, like 45 minutes, so you get what you're paying for, really. I really enjoy the fight. I enjoy how they set up the eventual fight between the two. I thought it was really well done. Robert Englund's still great as Freddy, and I forgot the dude that plays Jason, but I thought he was pretty solid in this. He was really solid. The blood and stuff was good. Oh, another great part of the movie is the kill with I think the abusive boyfriend or whatever, where Jason folds the dude in half with a bed. I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, it does have pretty bad CGI, but you know, it's toxic goodness fun. You know it's bad, but you love it. Then we have the final movie to rank. Friday the 13th, 2009, the reboot. This is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. I don't understand why most of the Friday the 13th fan base doesn't like this. I think this does everything right. It has the most terrifying Jason out of every Jason in this whole entire franchise, arguably. The kills were pretty good. This is actually linked to the Transformers 2007 movie, which I think is funny. This has a bunch of actors in here. It has Danielle Panabaker, who's from The Flash. She plays Killer Frost. She's pretty cool in here, and she has one of the most shocking deaths. Spoiler alert. I should have put a spoiler alert at the beginning of the video, but she has one of the most shocking deaths in this movie. The sister and brother, how the brother's trying to look for her, that's a very loyal brother. They did a good job on that. And the brother is actually from some other horror movies too. He does a good job in this as well. And yeah, it's a great Friday the 13th movie, and I don't know why most people hate it, but there you go, guys. That is my Friday the 13th / Nightmare on Elm Street tier list ranking. I hope y'all enjoyed this spooky tier list ranking. I hope y'all are having a great Friday the 13th, celebrating Jason's Day. No, I'm just kidding. But before we get to the actual ending of the video itself, guys, if you missed the previous Friday the 13th, not Friday the 13th, but the previous toxic tier list rankings I've done in the past, they're on a playlist on my YouTube channel. If you would like to check that one out, also don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 400 subscribers. Just 33 away now. Really help out your boy if you did subscribe. But also goes for people that have been watching my channel for a while and haven't subscribed yet. Don't forget to like the video if you do like my toxic tier list rankings, because it'll also help with the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications and notification will upload, because we do multiple uploads here on the channel every single day. Also do share the video, because also, man, we got some more people join the toxic fam, and do feel free to comment your list down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.